Welcome to this explainer. Okay, picture this. Walking away from a life of absolute guaranteed wealth and power, just to become a fugitive on the run, taking on a massive global empire? Sounds like a movie, right? But today, we're diving straight into the very real, very astonishing life of Subhas Chandra Bose. So born in Cuttack back in 1897, young Subhas, well, he wasn't exactly your typical kid. While the other kids were out playing, just being kids, he was absolutely buried in books about history and great leaders. And he was constantly haunted by this one profound question: why is India ruled by foreigners? Seriously, that single, burning curiosity, it essentially dictated the entire rest of his life.
And he didn't just ask the big questions. He had the serious intellect to back them up. He actually traveled all the way to England and passed the highly prestigious Indian Civil Service exam. I mean, we're talking about one of the toughest tests on the planet at the time. Passing it was basically hitting the career jackpot. It guaranteed elite status, wealth, and total comfort for the rest of his life.
But then, and this is where things get wild, he did the absolute unthinkable. He resigned. His friends, his family, they were totally baffled. Like, why on earth would you throw away a guaranteed life of luxury? Well, his reasoning was simple, but man, was it powerful. He literally said, "I do not want to serve the British government, I want to serve my country."
So, right back in India, he throws himself completely into the independence struggle, rubbing shoulders with massive figures like Mahatma Gandhi. But pretty quickly, they hit this huge ideological roadblock. See, Gandhi firmly believed in nonviolent resistance. Bose, well, frankly, he thought there was absolutely no way the British would just politely pack up and leave. He really believed stronger, direct action was the only path forward. Now, despite this massive clash in strategy, keep in mind, both men were fighting for the exact same dream.
And Bose's message? It was absolutely electric. Crowds just swelled wherever he spoke. And honestly, the British authorities started to panic. Their brilliant solution? Just arrest him. But that totally backfired. I mean, every single stint in prison just leveled up his legendary status. By 1940, getting desperate to quiet him down, they literally locked him inside his own home with around-the-clock police watch. They thought they had him completely boxed in. Actually, they had absolutely no idea what was about to happen.
All right, fast forward to a cold January night in 1941, and Bose pulls off the impossible. Disguised with this heavy fake beard and dressed as a humble traveler, he just slips right past the heavy British surveillance guarding his house. By the time the authorities even realized their most wanted man was gone, he was already miles away, kicking off this incredibly dangerous cross-continental journey.
Now, he didn't just vanish to go into hiding. No, he went on a full-blown global diplomatic offensive. He knew that to actually topple an empire, India needed some serious international muscle. So his goal was monumental. Maybe even a little audacious. He wanted to travel the world and build an actual, physical military force capable of fighting the British head-on. And that relentless drive, it birthed the Indian National Army, or the Azad Hind Fauj. Thousands of Indian soldiers rallied right to his side, forming this massive, organized resistance. But you want to know perhaps his most visionary move? He established a dedicated women's military unit. In a deeply traditional era, Bose was making a crystal-clear statement. In a truly free India, everyone fights, and everyone belongs. A real game-changer.
It was right here that he transformed from this rebellious politician into a deeply revered military commander. The people just organically started calling him Netaji, which translates to the respected leader. It wasn't some official rank handed down from a government desk. It was a title born purely out of the profound admiration and the absolute trust of millions of people.
So, imagine him standing before these newly formed troops. Netaji delivers this battle cry that would just permanently etch itself into history. He looks at them and says, "Give me blood, and I will give you freedom." That wasn't just a catchy slogan. It was a very real demand for the ultimate sacrifice. And let me tell you, it spread across the whole of India like wildfire.
By 1944, he issues the decisive command, on to Delhi. His army starts marching toward India's borders. And look, the campaign was brutal. They were plagued by harsh jungle terrain, terrible starvation, and they ultimately did face major military setbacks. But it achieved something far greater. It ignited this absolute tidal wave of patriotism back home. It proved to everyday Indians that their freedom was finally truly worth fighting and dying for.
But then, right as momentum seemed to be peaking, everything just abruptly stopped. In August 1945, reports suddenly surfaced that Bose had died in a fiery plane crash. The entire nation was paralyzed.
But almost immediately, you guessed it, the doubts crept in. Like, where was the concrete proof? And honestly, to this day, the total lack of definitive answers makes his final days one of the most hotly debated mysteries in modern history.
Despite all that uncertainty, Netaji's dream was always singular, a fiercely independent India. And in 1947, that dream actually became a reality. Now, even though he mysteriously wasn't there to witness the flag finally being raised, his fingerprints were all over that moment. His unyielding determination and his immense sacrifices had fatally weakened the British grip on India for good.
Wrapping up this explainer, it's clear Subhas Chandra Bose remains a totally unique force in history. He's a leader who didn't just inspire with a few good speeches, but with astonishing, relentless action. I mean, the guy threw away elite privilege, escaped under the cover of darkness, and quite literally raised an army from nothing. That's exactly why the cry of Jai Hind still carries his spirit today. It really leaves us with a heavy question to chew on. Would you have the courage to sacrifice absolutely everything for a dream you might never even live to see?